It's not yours. You know, it's not what you do.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to Logan County Fiscal Court this morning, and hope everybody's having a good day. And for court, before we call a meeting together, we always have a word of prayer. And we need to remember our meeting today, and then remember the people in our county that's hurting. And with that being said, Scotty, would you do our prayer this morning?
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us to come together and do the county's business. Lord, we just ask that you would be with each person represented to do that business. Lord, that it would be pleasing to you. Lord, I ask that you would continue to lay your hand upon our people that are hurting in our communities, that are still rebuilding from the tornadoes and sickness. Lord, just ask that you would be with them today. Be with our military that's fighting overseas for our freedom, our continued freedom. And we just give you all these, give you all the thanks. I ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, let's call the meeting together with the pledge of the American flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, again, I'd like to welcome everybody to Logan County Fiscal Court. I've got a few things to add to the agenda this morning. Right after we do the minutes, we've got Jen here with us with the City of Russellville with their park request that we'll add at that particular spot to let her go on about her business. And then we need to add item number 11, designation of an applicant agent resolution for FEMA disaster 4630. This is the tornado disaster. And then add item number 12, to approve a contract with the Commonwealth of Kentucky for FEMA Decoration 4630. And that came in late yesterday afternoon.
Make a motion to approve the changes to the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any questions? Not hearing any. Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, motion passes. The next item of business is a minute from May the 10th.
Motion to approve the minutes from May the 10th.
Second.
Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, then we got the May 19th special call meeting. Minutes.
Move to approve the minutes as presented for the May 19th meeting. Second.
Okay, got a motion second for approval. Is there any questions?
Come on, Lord, just put it over here.
Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business, Jen, if you want to come forward to the podium. And did everybody get a copy of the request?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Kenny and the mayor asked me to stop by. I think I came last year, just to request the yearly money that is usually given to the parks. This year, they plan on using a portion of that money to redo the fence around the tennis courts. They're actually redoing the tennis courts, resurfacing them. so they want to put up new fencing around that.
Judge, I move to approve the,
We need to approve their request, and we'll, of course, we'll pay the check at the next meeting.
okay. Move to approve the request for the $25,000 and approve it next, or write the check next court meeting.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the request of the city of Russellville for their park money that was set aside in the budget every year. Any questions?
Who seconded
Okay, let's have a roll call.
that? Davenport,
I ain't got not a slice of it.
Davenport,
Oh, yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
No.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Jim, I checked, but over at post office, we took that fence down between the church and Pennyroyal building, and we got several of those posts over there.
I'll
We
let
don't
Kenny
have
know.
any fence, but we got posts.
Okay, I'll let Kenny know.
And so, I mean, if you just happen to need a few posts,
Okay,
but now I've got to check, make sure nobody
nobody else put claim on them.
has asked for them.
I'll
Okay?
let him know.
Okay,
Thank you
but
so
they're-
much.
They're the chain link posts, and the big heavy ones too.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Thank you.
Okay, bill list, and so, I don't think we got a supplemental bill list this time, so. And, I think we have one request, Scotty, on the bill list.
Yes, Judge, I just asked that all the poll workers except for one, Cynthia Bratcher, we just need to not pay that one. There was a problem that can't be avoided, and Judge and I talked about it. We just think it's best just to remove it from the, and she's okay with that. Yeah. Just ask that all those be paid except for that exception.
I'll make a motion to approve payment of bill list as presented, except for payment to election officer Cynthia Bratcher.
Second. And Tyler, you might include that, should be $200.
Yeah, to $200.
Just make sure that's in the minute.
Okay, we had a motion and second on the bill list, to pay everything except that one poll worker. And everybody good? Question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, the next thing, treasurer report, Amanda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In your folders, you have a list of budget transfers that we need to get approved.
Move to approve budget transfers totaling $75,558.18.
Second.
Okay, motion and second on the budget transfers. Is there any question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport. Yes. Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
I do have several cash transfers today. The first transfer is $100,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the Road Fund.
I make it.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second, and if you looked at your bill list, we paid for the tractor, and we had more paving come in, so, is there any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
We need to transfer $40,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the jail fund.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
We need to transfer $15,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the LGEA fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second on the cash transfer. Question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
We need to transfer $25,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the 911 fund.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we got a motion second. Who seconded that? Okay. All right, question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And we need to transfer $100 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the special reserve fund.
I'll make it. Second.
Okay, got a motion second on the cash transfer question. Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Road work request, Tyler.
So Carol, you're doing a good job. Keep getting that money in before we spend it.
District 1, on Long Avenue, and you and I go out there and check on those limbs, if they want to cut back off of the right of way, the county's right of way. I've got a few road signs that are faded to nearly nothing. I want to maybe get replaced. Aaron Lane and Sandy Rock Drive. Two, Collins Road, that one as well. And that's it. Done that, continue maintenance. Thank you.
District 3, just continue maintenance. We'll add that Williams Road, the next go around with pavement, and write that down. Thank you.
District 4, Sharp Garden Road's got a speed limit sign that's laying in the ditch, and I'll have to figure out exactly where that's at. I had a lady call me about it. And they've also requested if we could put a sign at the end of the road on the Anderson Story. A speed limit sign, I don't know what, I think it's 35 on that road. But I'll find where that sign is and let you know. But everything else looks good, just continue maintenance.
District 5, same thing. You know, I talked to you yesterday, and I think y'all are doing a good job. You just need some more help out there. Thanks.
District 6, continue maintenance. Thanks for everything.
Okay, y'all heard the road work request. Questions? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Barry. Question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, elected official, Mary. Well, I talked to him last week, and of course, I got you to tell me what you thought you needed in the building, and he said he thought somebody would be here around June the 1st.
Getting close.
Okay, Scotty? Okay, Steve, you got anything?
No, sir.
Okay, I think that's everybody. Oh, Mary?
Morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to start off by saying I was originally scheduled to be in Louisville right now for one of 2 training sessions that I have a year as circuit court clerk, but due to this current pressing matter, I'm missing that to be here today. Across the state, jailers and circuit court clerks work together to prepare and collect bail bonds that allow defendants to be released from custody. Under KRS 30A.060, the ultimate responsibility of this critical task falls on the circuit court clerk. It is at the discretion of the jailer to assist with this. For many years, the Logan County Detention Center has prepared and collected bail bonds for any ROR bonds, released with paperwork alone, surety bonds, and cash bonds under $10,000 that were done outside of the hours of the circuit court clerk's office. However, I received a letter from Jailer Gregory on May 18th stating that due to staffing shortages and perceived complaints, the Logan County Detention Center would no longer be preparing any bail bonds. You can see that in Exhibit 2 that's attached. I have since been working with the Administrative Office of the Courts in pretrial to come up with an emergency plan to provide for the necessary 24-hour-a-day protocol to address this issue. There's some emails that you can see in Exhibit 3. This is a novel issue, as at most a jailer has refused to collect cash bonds. There are currently no other circuit court clerks across the state that operate with zero support from their detention centers on bail bonds. According to the clerk in Gallatin County, where there is no detention center, the jailer himself helps with bail bonds outside of regular office hours. I have spoken with both Johnny Anderson and Josh Toomey, the candidates that will be on the ballot for jailer in November, about this matter. I have been assured by both that communication and collaboration between the Logan County Detention Center and other offices, including my own, is among their top priorities. I'm hopeful, based on my conversations with both, that in January 2023, we can once again rely on the Logan County Detention Center to prepare and collect bail bonds outside of our regular business hours, so defendants can be released in a timely manner. Until then, there will be inevitable delays to such. Therefore, beginning on May 25th, the Logan County Circuit Court Clerk's Office, with my 9 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee, will be preparing and collecting bail bonds around the clock. When I started brainstorming what it would take to implement this change, my first thoughts were that I and each of my employees would need to be able to access the Logan County Detention Center after hours, have a secured area to prepare and collect the bail bonds, and a copy machine. However, this still would not provide for the computer, internet, and printer we would need for the pretrial bond decisions on which most of these bail bonds are based. For the remainder of the bail bonds, we would need KY Courts 2 access, which is an internal network-based program. There is logistically no other option for the next 7 months besides myself and my employees preparing and collecting bail bonds at the Logan County Court of Justice. I have been told by the Administrative Office of the Courts that is how our auditing department wants it handled as well, due to the security issue of transporting potentially large amounts of cash money. I'm requesting for the Logan County Court of Justice to be open and staffed with the requisite bailiff at all times per the current court security order until the situation changes. And you can see that in Exhibit 4, and I've marked some pertinent parts of that court security order. We will be preparing bail bonds at all hours of the day and night. If it is an ROR bond, where the defendant in custody must sign the bail bond form rather than a surety, the jailer will be responsible for bringing the individual to the Logan County Court of Justice so we can put him or her under oath and have them execute their signature as required. In summary, if this is what Jailer Gregory believes is in the best interest of the Logan County Detention Center, it is his decision to make. Myself and my staff have always tried to show our appreciation to Jailer Gregory and the Logan County Detention staff for assisting with this critical task. It was my understanding from Jailer Gregory in a friendly series of emails sent in September of 2020 that pretrial was responsible for most of the inaccurate court dates that were being given during COVID, and I was able to contact pretrial and have the vast majority of these issues resolved. And you can see this series of emails in Exhibit 6. I was not aware there had been any other communication from my office that could have been interpreted as a complaint regarding court dates. As again, if there are, that is a pretrial issue. It is a well-acknowledged fact among clerks that we owe our jailers the utmost respect for any assistance that is provided with bail bonds. Unless Jailer Gregory changes his mind, per statute, I must ensure bail bonds can be processed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I welcome the county to provide any ideas how this can be done in a more efficient manner than the Logan County Court of Justice being open and staffed with the requisite bailiff at all times per the current court security order.
Well, I guess my first question would be, what is it you need from us, this court?
I need, I guess, collaboration with our sheriff's office, Sheriff Stratton, and I'm not sure exactly what it takes as far as budgeting to provide for the budget to allow for court security 24/7. I'm not exactly sure how that works on the money side of things. I know when there's court in session, but how the judges sign off on the hours of the bailiffs. I'm not sure how it works when court is not in session.
So, I mean, I don't think, I mean, if the jail is short-staffed, you know, and we're budgeted through the jail to provide full staff. So if we're 3, 4, 5 staff short in the jail budget, then maybe we can take the money from there and use that to help assist financially on the bailiffs and any kind of security you need for the next few months.
Per my reading of the court security order, I believe there should only have to be one bailiff on staff since there won't be court in session during these times.
It'll be time and a half too, you know, if it's after hours,
Yeah, and we're talking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So that would be my first stab at it, would be just to take it from the jail's budget.
And presumably what you'd be needing them to do would be during those times of transport, so in this situation, there might be downtime as well, is that what I'm thinking?
I mean, there's potentially downtime with the bonds. You can see the bond form, I think it's Exhibit 5, where the defendants oftentimes have to sign off on these unless there's a surety involved.
My point would be the building would be locked, and so the sole reason you would need them would be for the execution of those bonds, correct? You're not thinking about that. You're not wanting to have the building open, it's just so that when you all interact with the defendants, you all can be safe.
I mean, there's going to be sureties in and out. If someone gets arrested at 12 o'clock at night and there's a $500, you know, or even just a surety bond with no payment, that surety is going to have to be able to come in the courthouse. And
I mean, I could see a way to still keep the building locked so that we're just getting the people there to do
yeah, I mean,
business.
however that's handled, that's court security. That's beyond my scope. I am just concerned about being able to perform my constitutional duties.
So it is a constitutional duty that a bond be set 24/7?
I've been told by Patrick Abel at the administrative office of the courts that yes, I am responsible for providing 24/7 access to bail bonds around the clock, and I'm to have a rotating staff.
It's not necessarily that they be set, but that they can be made at any point so somebody can be released. So the judges will only set them, but once they're set, they can be made at any time.
Well, these will also apply to the pretrial bond decisions as well, administrative releases, ROR, surety.
So a lot of those people get released just like that. Basically sometimes it takes them longer to process them at the jail when they actually stay in because they're automatically released.
So are all of these situations, the judge and dealing with this would have to set the bond? Or is there a situation where a judge is not
There
involved?
could be people in right now who have a bond, but their surety doesn't come up with the money until 10 p.m. tonight, and that's the situation.
No, these also apply to pretrial bonds. These are administrative releases. If somebody is arrested at 12 p.m. at night, pretrial interviews them.
What he's saying, I'm just saying that the situation is there are some that are set in the middle of the night, but they're also the ones where people want to make bond in the middle of the night, correct?
Yes, if they're arrested, interviewed by pretrial sets administrative release, pretrial sets ROR. The bond form has to be filled out.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were taking those. I was just saying it'll be even bigger than those potentially because it
Yes.
could be said in the grand jury indictment. If somebody wants to pay that in the middle of the night, they have the right to do that.
We've never, the jail has never collected, or at least since I've been circuit clerk, the jail has never collected bonds over $10,000 in the middle of the night, and we've never had an issue with that particular thing, bonds of that large of an amount. I think just because maybe bank access, et cetera, because special forms have to be filled out in that scenario that the jail's always referred back to us. And so most of the cash bonds that would be done would most likely be amounts under 10,000, but the vast majority of the issue here is just the plain paperwork being filled out. It's the amount of ROR bonds. Sure, like these are bonds that literally a piece of paper that Exhibit 5 has to be filled out. You know, the defendant signed, the surety signed. And we get that information from pretrial. Pretrial has a staff of over 300 people around the state that work to interview people that are incarcerated in the middle of the night.
I guess my question, though, still falls back. Is it required by law that bonds be set and people be released 24/7?
That's what
By the law.
That's what I was wondering.
Because I'm for first, I mean, it's very unfortunate, I'm for first doing what we've always done. But if that's not an option, my next option is we issue bonds Monday through Friday from 8
8 to
a.m. or
4:30.
whatever time you open to 4 or 5 p.m.
And I would,
And if the law allows it, that is what I'm voting for.
Me too.
I would be 100% on board with that, but I have been told by the powers that be at the administrative office of the courts, I am to provide 24/7 access to bail bonds.
Access is one thing, but issuing them is another, you know.
And is that under the KRS that you?
No, they did not provide me a KRS. This is just my conversations with.
Maybe we should just research.
Mary, my assumption is it would be.
I refuse, I think it's the same thing.
What, I can't hear you, Joe.
My presumption is, yes, that it would be required, but I don't mind if, this is the first I've seen of this, but I'm sure it's addressed in here somewhere, and I'm sure they could provide you with that to speed us up too, but my guess is that we can verify that, but we need to start from the presumption that you've got to do it 24/7.
Because she's got until tomorrow, May 25th.
Okay, I guess we just need to know that, but we need to work in there somehow. Wait for somebody to sit in there all weekend. I know you shouldn't be in there.
Well, it's not fair for
but
us.
From 12 at night till 7 in the morning could be a little different scenario, but
We'll just let them stay in jail till the next morning.
if that's me in there, I don't want to stay that long if I can get out.
So it's not, I know Phil's not here, but it's not fair that Phil not give a proper explanation of why we're in this predicament. You know, so that needs to be asked, Judge. I mean,
It is my understanding, I know it doesn't necessarily help any, but it is my understanding that the regional pretrial supervisor, Chip, his name is in there in the series of emails, but he did speak personally with Jailer Gregory yesterday morning about this and explained to him just to make sure that he knew just how big of a deal this all is, and the answer was still the same from Jailer Gregory.
Did we have multiple people quit before the 18th at the jail?
if we were doing it on the 17th and we quit on the 18th,
Something happened overnight.
an election, you know, it's just pure and simple.
You mean some of them
But
quit?
that should not be a political excuse for people being detained and not given proper due process because of an election.
Quit, is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Amanda said there's been no
Jailer's not
turnover.
here. I don't.
In deputies.
In deputies.
What's
Amanda
that?
said there's been no turnover in deputies.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's quit overnight.
It's,
Do you know
it's
how
really
many
disappointing.
vacancies there are right now?
There are several full-time vacancies out there all the time. At least 5 plus. It's been that way for several.
So I guess what we're waiting on is a definite answer if it has to be 24/7, which we're pretty sure it's going to have to be. It's just-
That's what, I know there was a delay in Patrick Abel when I first started talking to the administrative office of the courts about it. It's my understanding he got checked with legal and then got back to me later in the day and said yes,
And then I
24/7.
think if we do have to do 24/7, we need maybe some more specifics on staffing, when you need the staff and how often and that sort of thing. So we'll know, I guess we'll have to do it on a as-needed basis.
And I don't know. My intentions are to have someone in my office 24/7 as I'm required.
So then that comes out of your budget staffing too?
The way that we work, our budget is set by the state, and my employees earn flex time, and I would just have to let them off. We just have to juggle it around the rest of our duties. And I'm planning on personally taking most of the brunt of this, since there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Then do we have enough
I know-
bailiffs on staff to do
I
that?
know yesterday that Courtney resigned, said that you hired her.
Yes, she contacted me the evening of the 18th after I received this email and was interested in putting in an application.
Yeah.
And I had an open vacancy.
And I know he's sitting over there with a lady that's been there about 2 or 3 weeks. It's all he's going to have in the office in a couple of weeks. And we posted jobs yesterday for him and advertised, hoping to get somebody.
Well, if it's 24/7, we just gotta make it work. I mean, we'll just have to take from the budget or whatever and hire a bailiff or
Well, like I said, if we've got vacancies in the jail budget, we just use that part of the
take it
budget.
over. I mean,
That's all I know to do.
if it's mandatory, you have to do it. We'll have to do our part.
We don't want y'all to be in any danger handling money and stuff like that. Definitely, we want y'all to be safe.
Thank you.
So whatever it takes to get us through, I'll support y'all however you need us, as long, just, I guess, we need to find out if it's a 24/7 thing, or is that something you look at it?
Seem like a plan right now. I'm actually, the thing when it comes to AOC is those are the judges, so I'm sure they can get it to us quick, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's policy, but I believe on this one.
I mean, if 119 other counties is doing it, everybody has to do it.
And I think, again, it's always been the clerk's duty, per the KRS statute. It just works so much better, and it's a much more feasible approach to have someone inside the jail, at least after hours and on weekends, working with pretrial to fill out these bond forms. Because there is even with this setup, there's still going to be a bit more of a delay than there would if there was an in-house person filling it out as before.
Steve, do you know if any of your bailiffs are willing and able, or?
Well, the problem that we have is because they're part-time, they're only allowed to work so many hours a month. Preside requested 2 new bailiffs in the upcoming budget, but
You only have one full-time, right?
I only have basically 1 full-time.
The other side of that is after they start working so many hours, then we have to offer them benefits.
Yeah. We would literally have to hire
But I also think that we have to.
1 or 2 people to kind of do that. I mean, we'll do what we can until then, but, the midnight units can come and
I was going to say, you're just going to have to let road patrol pay overtime or something, let road patrol, whoever's on duty, know that you might get a call.
Well, and we'll do that,
11
but we
o'clock
have
at
to do the
night.
what-if thing, which, if they have a massive hot call come out, then they're gonna have to leave her, and that's not what she needs either. So, we can, I really don't know how we can do it, but we'll have to sit down and figure something. But I mean, we will do that. She can call, but we can't guarantee that, if they have a shooter or a big wreck, that one may have to leave her to go help the other. And you just don't know when that's going to happen.
Another thought is, that's, you got to get to 3 what ifs.
Right.
For that scenario to happen. And
Right.
it could. My suggestion is, why don't we talk to the city of Russellville? If that 4th what if happens, city of Russellville, can you come over here and escort Mary for 30 minutes to an hour? We've got an emergency, and
Yeah, we can
and go.
piece it together. There's just, until
This
we
is
can
short.
figure out if we need to hire more or.
Sure.
Long-term
Next, maybe even the next court meeting, we have a better idea of what we could do, and
I mean, and there may be somebody that might be interested in coming and working temporarily to work night shift. I mean, I don't know if that's an option you would consider, as long as they know it's a temporary opening that may end come January, obviously, but.
You mean like a retired police officer or something?
Yeah, some former bailiffs that might be interested in just doing that.
I think that's a good idea, and just go on and do it. We have the money to do it because of the short staff at the jail, so we could transfer what proceeds that are needed to cover that.
I mean, it's an option that I think I might could find one or two.
And Mary's got one number to call, and hopefully they answer.
Yeah, the only thing that changes is we got somebody on call, not 24/7.
From 4:30 till whatever time you're.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's right.
So we'll piece it together, and if
Will
it's,
that work?
in the middle of the night, we'll use a road guy, and if I can find somebody to fill the temporary spot, we'll use that option as well. I can come out, or the road guys can
At least
help.
6 months of it, 7 months of it. Yeah.
Let me tell you how it's supposed to work. A few years ago, I got caught up in Illinois, like DOT, and I didn't have CDLs then. And he said, figuratively speaking, I'm supposed to arrest you. He said, have you got $100 for your bond money? I said, yeah. I gave him $100. He said buy, and I said buy.
Yeah, that's why the sheriff's office do not do bonds.
That's right.
That's the truth.
I don't know if
And that's Illinois, so that explains a lot too.
Okay. We'll try to make it work on county then.
All right, thank
Budget,
y'all.
Stephen.
Thank you for bearing this for us. and
Sorry you had to go through that.
Y'all have a good day, thank you.
You too.
Okay, we'll move on to department heads. Kelly, you got anything? Well, Ginger.
That's crazy.
Morning.
Morning.
I have a personnel action request. I have a previous part-time employee that's wanting to come back and work part-time for me. Kayla Hughes, I'm wanting to hire her back as part-time with 2 years of experience for $14.03 an hour. She's working part-time. She's out of school and in between, so she's going to come help me out over the summer. And she's already, she's worked for me before for several years. Starting on the 30th.
That's Paul's niece, isn't it?
Yes. Mhm. I wish she'd come back and work full-time, but,
2 years before.
Mhm. She worked part-time while she went to school. And she was a savior during COVID. She worked with me a lot during COVID.
Maybe it's just temporary and she'll become full-time.
Well, she's wanting to go to law school, so.
Okay.
But I'll take her while I can.
That's right.
Now, they done said, you want to hire full-time now,
Part-time.
part-time? Had they worked for you before?
Yes,
That's what I thought you said.
Yes, she worked full-time, and then she went back to, she went down to part-time.
Oh, okay.
And she stayed with me the whole time she was in school, but then she was busy for a while, and now she wants to come back.
Make a motion to approve the personal action request for Kayla Hughes for part-time to get her 2 years credit experience on the stipend schedule LC-EC-1S1.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second on the payroll request. Questions?
On the
Hiring request.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Kelly, you got anything? Okay, Nathan?
Good morning.
Morning.
Just one thing not on the agenda down further that I needed to have approved. I turned in a closeout for the 21-22 waste tire grant, and it's on there with the $4,000, how it was spent this year. We spent around $4,500 with one event and some other scattered pickups from the company that helps us. This does not include the tire event back in July, the big event we had at the out there. That was a separate deal. But we're actually a little bit over with this, but the Conservation Service, I've talked with Wesley Wright, and we have a grant working with him to cover 75% of that $500, so we will get some of that back as well. But I did need permission from y'all to have Judge Chick to sign this closeout report.
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion. Who made the motion?
Jason.
Okay. Barry, you seconded it, right?
I can.
Okay.
Somebody else say?
Okay, is there any questions?
You've been on the quiet. I'm thinking.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
And that was all I had, unless anybody had any questions or issues for me. But,
Well, I got it.
okay,
I'm getting complaints again out of South Union.
okay, okay.
I've done had 2 calls, and one person said they took a picture of it.
Okay.
Said it was terrible, so.
Okay, is it the same issue with the litter
Same
out,
one right
litter out
there
in
we're
front
talking
of
about.
Pleasant View Drive? Okay. I'll make note. My intention is to have Mr. Hanks or somebody from Apex TPM come here, because as y'all approved a 90-day permit extension, that would be due next court meeting, so I'm attempting to get somebody to come here and discuss that. So, but yeah, I'll definitely make mention of that to them.
Okay, anything else?
I'll be back.
All right, thank you, Nathan.
Okay, judges' announcements for the day. I think that's, Sue Carol, do you have anything? Okay. Judges' announcements for today, the Logan County Cattlemen Association, 4-H and FFA Youth Market Steer Show and Sale. Carcass contest to be on May the 31st at the Logan County Ag Arena. If any of you are interested in going. The Logan County Antique Engine and Tractor Show is on June the 3rd and 4th at the Extension Complex. And the Logan County Fair begins June 18th through June 30th, and it'll also be at the Ag Extension Complex. You should have in your folders today a copy of the administrative code. It has to be presented to y'all within the month of June. Y'all read through that. If you feel like there's any changes need to be made, that we need to take them up in the month of June. Also, there's a public meeting for Russell Solar will be held on June the 15th at 5 p.m. at the Logan County Library. Is there anything that y'all know about that I might have missed? If not, citizen participation. I think we got a few candidates here this morning, and good to have you here with us, Jim.
Thank you, Judge.
And if any of you would like to address the court, we ask that you come forward at this time, state your name and the vicinity of the county you live in. Okay, not seeing nobody move, we'll move on then to old business this morning. And discuss the resolution of the insurance of industrial revenue bonds for the benefit of Russell Solar and waivers. So, if anybody wants to come forward.
Come on, Stefan.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you all again.
Y'all just rent you a house down here.
Yeah.
Pretty often.
It's not too far of a drive. But yeah, happy to be here representing Silicon Ranch. So currently with our solar project, 173 megawatts, we are finalizing permitting with the TVA, with NEPA, as well as working with the final permit from the state siting board. And as Judge Chick mentioned, we have the public hearing on June 15th. But yeah, just here today regarding the inducement resolution for the pilot we had proposed. Just wanted to make a couple clarifying comments about that. We had initially talked about this proposal. I had actually thought of it myself as a way to bring more revenues to the county because the current state of solar in Kentucky is where most of the tax revenue goes to the state rather than the local jurisdictions. So we had proposed this $6 million amount after discussions with our management, and through this amount, the county would stand to receive between $3 and $4 million more than the regular tax assessment for this project. In addition to that, the real property tax assessment is going to be separate, so that would not be included under this proposed bond, and the property would be assessed at a value currently where it's at $1,400 per acre. It would be closer to $9,500 per acre, or even more, depending on the tax inflation and increases in taxes over the years. So yeah, just wanted to propose this pilot as a way to increase revenue for the county, which in a way can be allocated to community projects. We are not able to increase from the $6 million that we had proposed. I think the county is receiving the lion's share of that abatement that we'd be getting from the state. So most of that benefit is going to the county. But what we would be willing to do is, throughout the operating life of the project, is we usually have a fund for community projects in our O&M, our operations and maintenance budget, and would look to see what kind of project would be useful for the community and have something allocated each year of operations for the county. That being said, one of the requests recently was the ability to make the IRB non-callable during the initial 10-year term of the bonds. We fully agree with that. We plan on operating the project for the full 40-year life, so we have no issues with that proposed amendment. Those are all the comments I had.
So at this time on this other project that you had mentioned, or special project, is there a line item budget for that, or no?
In our internal budget, we do have a community line item, community benefit line item in our operations and maintenance budget. We haven't determined what that amount would be. I guess it would kind of depend on what the need is in the community.
I've got a couple of questions. Logan, you were on the siting board, correct?
Do what?
You were on the siting board.
Yeah, the governor put me on the siting board. And basically what it boiled down to, if there's any of these projects anywhere in the state of Kentucky, they placed, they're gonna put the county judge on that siting board. And I've had a lot of calls this week, strangely, this week, really requesting that we, on this, that we wait after the public hearing, but it was already on the agenda. And Charles, I know you're sitting back there, and I don't know whether what we got's got all the language in it, you know what I'm talking about, because this was original. I guess that was my only question for you. I'm sure you read through this thoroughly, but this is the original. I haven't received anything since.
I brought one down on that, but we've got so many copies out there.
I know it, I got
the latest version.
4.
The latest version, Judge, that we sent to the county attorney yesterday had nothing more, the only change was the date.
Okay.
Because we've changed the fiscal, we stated the last fiscal court meeting and we've changed
The
it.
newest one, but the only thing we've added in last month was that 10-year period. That
Correct.
they agreed to before the last meeting.
Actually, that will be in the actual bond itself. It is not in this agreement. Okay? You wait till you put that in the bond itself, because that's actually a provision between the bondholders and the county, not between the company and the county. Okay? So that will go into the actual indentures and the loan agreements, lease agreements that will be there.
Well, I was asking Judge about the sighting board, and all I'm getting is information off the telephone. I have nothing to back it up. Was there a request to make AP Miller Road bigger and Montgomery Road? Was that in the request to make it larger?
It was a request for information about the conversations with the road department. I had spoken with the foreman, Kelly, of the roads department.
Kelly, yeah, well, he was here.
We had briefly talked about what might need to be done to Montgomery Road and AP Miller for that kind of those construction vehicles, and we discussed the potential for widening, but nothing was really determined. If it's needed, then we would definitely widen that, make sure that the residents that are further along AP Miller still have that access over by Lynn Dawson's property as well as the Vic family property. So,
okay, whose expense? Is it the county's expense to widen the road?
It would be our expense, Silicon Ranch.
It's Silicon Ranch is to widen the road if need be.
Yes, sir. Yep.
The county would just have to supervise it.
Okay.
For the sake of public interest and probably being more comfortable, is there a problem on Silicon Ranch's end if we wait till after the public hearing to do the motion for the industrial revenue bonds? I think it'd make everybody feel a little better, for whatever reason. I think the appetite is to, I can only speak for myself, but the appetite is to issue the industrial revenue bonds. Nothing has changed since I last spoke with you. Matter of fact, I've probably gained a little more feedback from people who understand it maybe a little bit better and is like, yeah, I think you should capture that revenue. So, speaking only for myself, but I've had a few phone calls. It's like, well, let's just wait until actually it looks like you'd have your public hearing first, just in case there is a unknown. And I'm like, well, I understand that. So it doesn't matter to me, but is there any reason on your end that needs to be done before June the 15th?
Well, as I understand it, this would be contingent on the approval of the project. Is there anything in the industrial revenue bonds themselves or the inducement resolution that would say it's null and void if the project doesn't get passed?
If the court decides to approve the resolution today, that does not mean the project is going forward. They still have to go through the siting board, do the public hearing process, get final orders. So And that's not the court's prerogative, that's the state's prerogative.
So from our end, we're going to have construction lending or construction financing as soon as we receive the permit. So we would want to have the permitting and the preliminary work and the inducement resolution settled before then, which is why we've been seeking to have this and have our models set for future.
And I know y'all know that, but the public doesn't know that
Right.
or wants to hear it. I'm just telling you the truth. You know, when it hits the paper, the court issued industrial revenue bonds, it stops right there. They don't, the rest of the fact that the public hearing could stop that if something crazy were to happen or something like that, but.
All this says, as far as the county is concerned, there's a couple things. Number one, the county agrees to issue industrial revenue bonds in the future if the project is undertaken by Russellville Solar. And if it is, it will be done under what's called the lease agreement concept. And by doing that, it will put into effect the pilot agreement that's being put in effect. It does not approve the project at all. It just merely says the county will finance it if need be, if it's built. When I say the county will finance it, they will issue the industrial revenue bonds to finance it.
Okay. If y'all don't mind, take turns at that mic if you don't want to be real close to each other, because
Okay.
Charles, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I'm sorry, sir. You want me to say that again?
Yes, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Judge, the inducement resolution does basically two things. One, it says if Silicon Ranch, Russellville Solar builds the project, the county has agreed to issue industrial revenue bonds, number one. Number two, they've agreed to issue the industrial revenue bonds under what's called the lease agreement concept. And in return for doing that, Silicon Ranch is going to enter into a pilot agreement with the county to provide certain tax dollars or in lieu of tax payments to the county for taking that action. It does not approve the project. There's no bonds to be issued if there's no project to be built. The approval of the project is based upon the state siting board giving an order that grants approval and a permit to go ahead and build the project.
Okay, thank you.
So that would push it out to June the 28th, Thomas, if we waited till after.
Yeah, and like I said, I have no problem on voting today, other than I might have a couple of requests for some language in this thing, if y'all see fit, but, and I'm gonna lose my train of thought if I don't write it down, give me just a second. But that's the reason I was asking Stefan if it made a difference to him or not. I totally understand what you're saying. I'm just telling you how the public perceives it. Okay, there's a little, for those who don't like the project, there's a little political backlash because it's only going to be perceived as you issued the bonds. And that's just a statement of fact. And it doesn't affect me, in my race, but it may affect somebody else. I don't know, but that's just a political truth. You've already seen what one thing has happened today because of politics, and that's the white elephant in the room. I'm just telling you, somebody, not me, not Robert Kyle, not Jason, but somebody else may see somebody, well, not me, because he's not running. So Tyler may have some political backlash. I don't know, because people get ticked.
Commissioner, there's no harm to the county for waiting. The only harm is to Silicon Ranch.
That's the reason.
And the real harm to them is they are prohibited from ordering any panels, doing any kind of preliminary work, engineering work that they may not be able to be reimbursed for down the road. That's the real harm.
Okay.
So here's my thoughts, and Stefan hit on this the last meeting, is what the project's going to continue whether we do this or not. And that's what the general public, our constituents need to know. We're either gonna get this money that's been offered, or we're not. The project's gonna continue, right or wrong.
That's correct, unless the state were to say, you won't receive the permit. But
It doesn't matter to me, I don't.
All right,
Politics don't
let's
matter
work
to me.
on this document then.
But, I mean, I've said this from the beginning, is that the only thing I don't like about it, well, first off, we've already determined that the people that have done this, the landowners have chosen to lease their property for a solar farm. That's nothing that we can control what's coming, regardless or not. Maybe this sounds lewd, but if I can take some of your money, then yeah, I'll be glad to. So, doesn't matter to me whether we do it today or we do it, I mean, kind of like Thomas, some people may take it the wrong way, that the county doing this means the project is, it's final. That's not so. It's only contingent upon, your permit from the board.
And those questions can be answered at the June 15th public hearing.
right.
Okay, Mr. Muller? Molson? I'll get it right before we're
That's
done
okay.
with this project, guarantee it. So, two questions on, I understand about the language that's more of financial language determining the bonds be non-recourse for 10 years or non-callable for 10 years. I understand that is loan language. But is there any reason why we can't add that to that? Okay, so that's one thing. Second thing is, and I know almost for sure that the court's not ready to make a decision on that, but I'm asking you where and if pilot funds, the language that would determine what, if, or when, or where pilot funds are used. I have always been an advocate that those funds are being used for industrial development projects moving forward. So we have an industrial development authority. Basically, they work on donations, and Judge and I sat on that board. Jim's over here today. They can tell you we're working on a hamstring budget, and I would love to see these funds allocated, if that's the right word, to the Industrial Development Authority. I don't know what the rest of the court thinks about that. So where is that language determined if we choose to do so, or is that just simply a court matter?
That's a court matter, that's your annual budget, and I'm not sure that, and I defer to the county attorney, he's much smarter than I am about things like this. I'm not sure you could say all these pilot funds are gonna go to the Industrial Development Authority for the next 30 years. I think you're gonna have to vote on it every year as part of your budget. Because what this is just basically tax dollars coming into the county.
Their bond counsel said we could. What's the other guy's name?
Mark. I don't think this court can obligate future courts as to how they are going to spend the money.
You're right about that, Charles. We can't bind another court of what they do with the tax dollars.
I
the only
totally
thing we can
disagree
do
with
what
y'all, because this pilot right here says what you're giving to the school district every year. Is that not going to be binding for the next 30 years?
That's an agreement of it's not fiscal court giving that money to the school district. It's Silicon Ranch saying we're going to pay in lieu of taxes this additional dollars to the school district.
Okay.
Just like they're saying to you, Silicon Ranch can't tell you how to spend the money that's coming in under this pilot program.
That's correct.
You have the total right to determine that. Now, if you want to give it to the Industrial Development Authority, I think that's great. But to say, I want to put in here that it is always going to go to the Industrial Development Authority, I think you're starting to violate the court's right to make a determination every year on how to spend its money. That's, from what I know about, municipal law in that sense, I don't think you can do that. You could certainly make it a census of the court, if that's what you would like for it to do, but I'm not sure you can allocate it every year for the next 30 years.
Just speaking for the Industrial Development Authority or a member of, the only harm in that to us, again, it doesn't bind them to be able to do a project and have the funds, to pay for that project. So, like right now, we'd like to go out and do a $4 million project. That's doable if somebody would commit to allocating the funds to pay the payment for the next, let's just say it's 20 years in case we don't get the project sold. Maybe it's only guaranteed for 1 year then, so the IDA wouldn't be able to do that project. There's just no possible way you could do that with only a 1 year guarantee. Is that the right word?
Correct. I think what you'd have to do on something like that, if the IDA wanted to do a project, like I say, a $4 million distribution facility,
Co-sign the notes along the way.
that's exactly where you're headed. In other words, the county could lease the project on a year-to-year basis, agreeing to pay debt service on it to us.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way you, under state law and constitutional law, you get around it. So,
Okay. Just ask.
yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think we just addressed that in our budget, just like, we said X million dollars for sheriff's office or for this office or whatever office, in our budget would be the same difference. We just, I guess, know that the money coming in from them is what's paying for it, I guess, but I don't know.
It's just going into the general funds and you're just budgeting it out.
Yeah.
So, I get it. And I'm fine with that. I mean, the only thing is, if the IDA, and I know I'm getting a little sidetracked, the IDA did a project like that, they would have to have a co-signer. They can't just simply do that project and hope that the next budget, you're gonna put that money in there so they can make the payment. And hope the next budget and, the next court, it would have to be a joined at the hip situation.
Of course, I know this is getting sidetracked, but if there's a $4 million project, the court's going to want to know more about what that's going to do.
Sure.
What that's going to get us, what the industry's going to, is it going to attract, whatever. But yeah.
Okay. So,
That's the most updated.
This one.
So with that change?
yeah, I think the motion, if we make a motion, should just allow a little flexibility that our county attorney, our bond counsel, work on the final language and let the judge allow him to sign it. Again, the 10-year language, I don't think it hurts that that's in there, and if there's something else y'all want in there or know about that I don't, and then we wouldn't have to wait till another court meeting, right? I'll put that in form of a motion to allow, what this thing's called again. It's just simply called a resolution.
Yeah, Commissioner, what I would do is just make a motion that if you're moving forward with the resolution, we have a motion that the resolution be amended to provide for the bonds to be non-callable for a 10-year period. And based upon that amendment, if the court votes it, we'll redraft it to provide that language in there.
And we'll allow the judge to sign.
And allow the judge to sign it.
You get that, Logan?
I think, Mr. Charles, if you would write that down, hand it to my clerk, it would be good.
Pardon?
If you would write down what you just said and hand it to my clerk.
Yes, I will.
So I'll make the motion, as Charles mentioned here, that the resolution be amended to allow for the language of the 10-year non-recourse and allow bond counsel and our legal counsel to do a final review on that and allow the judge to sign it.
Yeah, not the word non-recourse, non-callable.
I'm sorry, non-callable. I had a non-recourse
You
loan
did,
one
you
time.
did, I
The
know.
reason I keep saying it, you don't get those too often.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion made by Thomas, second by Jason. Is there any questions?
I'm in 100% in agreements with this, and I want to do this pilot program, but I'm going to have to ask to wait on my vote because I had several people call me and wait after the public hearing meeting. It will not probably change my mind one bit, but out of respect to the constituents who called me, that will be my no vote. But I agree with it. I want the county to have this money. I just wish we'd wait till after the public hearing.
Understand.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Y'all ready for roll call?
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
No.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
No.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Okay, and I'm gonna abstain because I'm sitting on the sighting board. And I don't want my vote today to influence my decision on the sighting board. But the motion carried.
Good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your help. Thank you, Steve. What about the landscaping waivers?
Yeah, that's all that in there, Miss Miles
You got the-
or Miss Seymour.
You got the, is that next on the agenda?
Well, it was in the
The
same.
waivers on
Oh,
it.
inside.
you waived it. You ready to-
Yeah, y'all should have a copy of those waivers.
And I personally talked with Deborah, and that's exactly what she wants. She didn't want it, and so I'm good with this.
So we gotta make a motion to,
You want to make a motion to accept the waivers between Silicon Ranch and effective.
I will. I'll make a motion between Silicon Ranch and the waiver for the buffer and the screening for Miles Farm LLC. That's what I need.
Sorry, I was looking at that other, but I think that was.
yeah, it was.
I was trying to figure out what he was.
Did you get that?
He couldn't carry it all.
Okay, I presume you made a motion to approve the waivers.
Yes, sir, I did.
I'll second that.
Okay.
And there's
Second by
two,
Jason.
because there's two different tracks? Is that
Correct.
Two
okay.
different parcel numbers.
Same landowner, just two different tracks.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
Okay, any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Thank you.
Davenport,
See you at 15.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Again, I'm gonna abstain because I sit on the sighting board.
You already gone through reports.
Have what?
You already done reports.
Reports?
Yes.
No, but we can go back to it.
Go.
Okay. Go ahead, report.
I was just going to go back to the previous issue that has had me running a little bit, but I was able to basically find an Attorney General's opinion from the early 80s, basically asking, an ask by Fleming County for their jail to only do this between certain hours, basically to cut off the bail issuing between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. I would state that the laws on bail have gotten much more pro-release since that time, and based upon reading this, the constitutional sections and the statutes referenced, we need to be providing access so that people can be released 24 hours a day. So I can share that with you all if you would like, but I think that's
That's what we kind of expected, so you just affirmed it.
Okay, next item of business is the open bid for black fly treatment. We got one bid from Insights, and that's the only bid
Thank
we've
you.
ever got every year. And Tyler, if you want to read it, sit down where they can hear you on the mic, but according to what I was told, there wasn't no changes in the price of the black fly treatment, and I think every year we're allowed a certain amount of money.
Yeah, Insights is only good with guide as usual, and implementation costs, daily costs including personnel and equipment, daily cost estimate $750 per day, standard labor rate week is.
How many applications is it?
Man, you got your.
I know every year and then I forget it. Is it 18, 15?
So we spend like 12 grand on it? 10 grand? It's 750 a time. I was wondering if it's 10 treatments.
I think when we bid that out, it's up to, like you said, 14 to 17 treatments.
Yeah, it says approximately.
They never use all of them.
It says approximately 15 to 17 total days.
Okay.
You're right. I was thinking somewhere close to that.
Make a motion to accept the bid from Ensigns for black fly treatment at $750 today, up to 17 days.
Seconds.
Thank y'all.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's your.
Oh,
Sorry, I ain't seen you. I ain't got no black
He's just
fly.
ready to
Jason ain't got
roll.
no.
Hey, they're going north though, so.
No, keep them down there.
Wonder why 17 days? Why couldn't it have been 15?
Well,
It's up to. He hardly ever uses, he uses about 10 to 12.
And then they quit.
Yeah, he does.
It's
We
based
don't-
on how bad it is. Some years it's not as bad as others. So,
We never have spent the full amount.
that's right.
Okay.
And the good part about this is when we approve it like this, like if it's early spring and the weather changes before we make this motion, he can go ahead, he'll have a leftover treatment and he can do that and get a jump on it. Because after they're here, it's hard to do anything with. He has to jump on the larva. So it works good and he never uses the whole days. It's just,
Same person been meeting? Okay.
and the state provides a chemical. And there still will, correct?
Yeah.
The state provides a chemical.
Matter of fact, we had a load shipped in a few weeks ago that the state provided, and he's already treated the river a time or two this year
With leftover funds.
out of last year's budget, the year we end budget.
That's correct.
And they're right, we've had a partnership with the state that they furnished the chemical and we furnished the labor. So, and before that, it was terrible. And
I didn't realize how bad they were, but I'll tell you what, you go around where they're at, them things will bite the bar.
They get on animals like the cows and stuff.
okay, so we had a motion and a second, right? Are we ready to have roll call?
Ready?
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Thank y'all. I know Jack does too, 'cause he's more in his area than mine, but it does good.
Okay, next item of business is open bids for a new control panel at the Logan County Detention Center in the control room. And, of course, at the last meeting, Dr. Gregory said that he would be able to pay for this out of the commissary. And we have one bid come in.
I think it puts a burden on the new person coming in. We shouldn't do that.
So I guess we won't open this bid, since it's a special thing. One bid.
Yeah. Go ahead and open it.
But did he not say like 30 grand? What did he say? I know, but he expected it to cost about 30 grand.
Okay, this bid from
Somewhere
Land
around
Systems
45, but you may be right.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, is it coming out of the commissary?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he pays for it out of commissary account.
I think I thought he said about $30,000, but it might have been more than that.
Absolutely.
Looked like the bid $43,600.
I was thinking 45.
Computers has went up.
Cheaper than a tractor.
It's advanced system.
I thought we was talking about something little.
Okay, what y'all's pleasure on, do we need to let Phil look at this, or is this the only one and let it go, or just pass it?
Again, not reviewing the bid, assuming it's a good bid and everybody's comfortable with it, I would assume we would pass it, allowing the judge to conversate with the jailer.
Okay.
And making sure that this is the right equipment and the right company and the right price, and if so, allow him to sign the contract.
Does it come out of the jail fund?
Commissary account at the jail.
Okay.
That's how Jailer Greger said he would pay for it.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
I'm assuming that includes installation time.
All required additional material, labor, will provide labor to install all the above referenced equipment.
Labor too.
Yes, sir.
Any warranty or anything?
Warranty is a 1-year equipment warranty and 30 days on labor.
How many bucks when they leave?
Not like the roofing business.
Go ahead.
Was it 43,636?
Will you do a lifetime warranty on the roof?
It's pretty.
10 year?
They, it's warranty.
On our labor. On a new roof, not on repair. It's our new roof. And you can buy either more, and we do up to 30 years.
I sure wished I had one of them drinks. And nutrition too.
Some counties got a good jailer. I mean, a sheriff, let me say that. Stephen didn't bring us one.
No, it was fine.
Well, he's a retiring clerk. That's what it was, retiring clerk. I thought Stephen was going through with it.
What's going on up there?
Talking about you.
I thought you were bringing the drinks in. I didn't know if it was Scotty.
Hey, I think.
Make it a run, y'all need some.
Hey, we know who Scotty loves. Let's put it that way.
Look at him back there sipping on it now.
He said we'd only get one bid, too.
Did he?
I think so.
Yeah.
He did say one bid.
What was that out of? I didn't even see. Where was they out of? Did it show? I was just curious.
I like Thomas's, like he said, let the judge and the jailer look it over and tweak it on there.
Evansville, that's not bad.
All right, roll with it, Tyler.
Huh?
Roll with it.
Hold on. Where I will.
Advanced technology.
Advanced Systems Technology Incorporated.
Make a motion to accept the bid from Advanced Systems Technology Incorporated for the replacement of the control panel at the jail for a total of $43,600 to be paid for out of the jail's commissary funds.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to accept this bid and for it to be paid for out of the jail commissary funds. Question? Okay, let's have roll call then.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Hey, Judge, one thing that I noticed that was on that bid talked about the, some wiring to do with some smoke removal. As y'all know, all of those air units required in a jail by law has this function that the unit quits running as a heating and cooling unit and a damper in it, and it just simply removes smoke. So if a incarcerated person starts a fire, you know, it moves the smoke out. PSK has typically always, for the most part, done the work up there, and he informed me, PSK informed me a couple of weeks ago that there's 2 units that they did not replace, that was replaced, that function is not working, and one of the units, when he was looking at it 2 weeks ago, has no ability to have that function because it's a residential unit. It's not a commercial unit. And we have to be mindful of that, and I'm not promoting one company over the other, but if a company is doing that, they have to have knowledge. I mean, I'm not an HVAC guy, but we're paying PSK now, or paid them to fix 2 units that shouldn't have been done, you know. You know, so I'm not so sure that we don't either A, bid out that service like we do the plumbing, and now the roofing, you know, to one person, because what happens is nobody's owning it. When you're doing it like the radio systems and, you know, when Gregory made known to him that the unit, well, he's not a HVAC guy either, he's the jailer. You know, well, this unit's not, you know, it failed your inspection. Well, they called PSK because they're the experts in that system, whatever it's called, and they look at one unit, wiring's all jacked up, they spend 2 or 3 days fixing that. They go to the next unit, this unit has no ability to have that because it's a residential unit, it's not a commercial unit. So last I spoke to them, they were looking to see if there was any way that they could add a damper and a new control panel and, you know, whatever. It shouldn't have ever been done to begin with.
I
So-
thought we had like set guidelines that we followed.
If we did, we didn't do it, that's all I'm saying.
Like as
I'm
far as
like
not
you.
getting different brands, I thought we stuck with all the same
I
brands.
think it's on
and
the
stuff.
on the replacement that we've been doing.
These have been
That's what he's
replaced
saying, there's
since
2
we
that are
set
not up to
those.
spec.
These are almost brand new units.
So we need, like, especially at the jail, we
You
need.
just don't need to be doing it going forward.
Right.
I mean, you know, I'm for the competitive bid process, you know, but maybe it's something we just need to start bidding out on the jail, you know, by the ton. Units are usually by the ton, but, or something, you know, that we bid that out, and then that way somebody owns all those units up there.
Yeah, because you got 3 different companies with 3 different labors and
That's
labor
right.
rate, labor warranties.
And I'm not blaming the other company. We may have done a poor job explaining, hey, you've got this, whatever it's called, this smoky vac.
I've heard this in the past before, so that should have been in the bid thing packet because this is, ever since the jail's there. So I know we've run across this issue before to make sure it's in the bid packet.
Well, we did tonnage and sear and brand, but we didn't know that part of it.
I mean, I tell you, that's just something that, all these different things like this, maintenance-wise, it's hard for us in court meeting 2 times a month to, you know what I'm saying, to know what's out in the field. I mean, we have a maintenance person. So,
Then we have a committee.
we have a maintenance person, but now if we have taken the mowing stuff part away, but, I would think somebody, you know, if we have a maintenance person, maybe we would be keeping up with all that sort of stuff.
Well, I just want to make y'all aware, they did call me while they were there. It's been about 2 weeks ago. And said, hey, just FYI, I want you to know that I'm working on 2 units that we didn't install. Didn't ask who installed it. I don't care who installed it, you know. But you got one that's not wired up, it's not functioning, it's jacked up. I'm gonna be 2 days at least fixing that. And the other one, I don't even know. I'm assuming he was able to get it redone. I just can tell you, I didn't hear back from him. Like he said, it's a residential unit.
Adding all that stuff to it could have been whole lot of the difference in the cost. I mean, you talk $500 and it'll cost $2,000 to straighten it out. I'm just throwing numbers out.
Yeah.
We do need, that really needs to be in the specs, or we do need to bid out for somebody to get the bid to do that, and they have to be qualified too.
Okay, that's all I want, Judge. Thank you.
The roof, okay? Did we get the roof fixed?
Yeah, there was a leak, the roofing, my understanding, last time I talked to Jailer Gregory, the roofing leaks have been fixed, but there's still a leak that's coming from an actual air unit, because they turned that unit off and they covered it with a tarp or something while it was raining, and it didn't leak. They took the tarp off, and the next rain, it started leaking. So, but I've got a meeting with Preferred Construction Services and the jailer for the other issues that weren't real pressing that needs to be fixed.
Okay.
Elizabeth, we have roll call on
Oh, we voted on that, did we not?
that. Okay.
Well, y'all told me to shut up.
Okay, let's have a roll call on the motion to accept that bid.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is approve the 22-23 private recycling grant agreement.
All right. Hello again. I applied for and received just the other day a recycling grant for around $3,500 for some ad money for the newspaper and radio. And so that money will be used to promote the recycling center and just some events that we're doing concerning that. So I just needed permission for Judge Chick to sign that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. Now, is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, waste tire grant.
So this grant is also coming up now. This is something we have every year for $4,000 that y'all just approved the closeout on just a few minutes ago. And it's for 22-23. It's to host those smaller tire collection events and any gooder tires that we find along the sides of the road, that type thing. And so this pays for the disposal of those tires. That's all it pays for.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan.
Okay, next item of business is an application for federal assistance under SL 424, assurance construction programs, and that's coming through the national NRCS. We talked about this. This is dealing with cleaning of creek on J. Will Stewart Road. And I did get a little email from Nicholas this week, and I got him handling that. And it looked like this could be a longer on that thing, Jason.
Yeah.
It said that I want to let you know the county would have 220 days to complete the project from official approval date of the contract. Right now, we are still in the pre-approval phase with this application. I think that your concern with the timeline was with being able to work around the crops. And it appears that there will be adequate time to allow the harvest before initiating the actual removal, burning of debris. And I said, please let me know if you have any other questions.
You need a motion to approve this application? Or do you need approval to approve the application, Judge?
Application and us moving forward with assurances and certificate regarding
It's yours, ain't it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the application for the federal assistance SF-424 Assurance Construction Program and allow the judge to sign the application.
Second.
It's application, assurance of construction programs, and then certificate regarding lobbying.
Yep.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, questions? I still about halfway wonder if this will be enough estimate,
Oh, no, it won't.
and that'll be the next hoop we'll have to jump through.
$39,000.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, at the last court meeting, we discussed the lawn treatments, and we've already got that started. And the motion was right for Logan County Justice Center, Logan County Historic Courthouse, Archive Building, Property Valuation Administrative Building. But we used this number right here as a number. And the motion was seating and everything, and it left out of the whole bill adds up to $3,868.
So the total is $3,868. Correct. It just said adds $3,868.
I thought I wrote the difference on there, let me find the,
It's in your book there, so way down toward the end.
The difference is 26,180 and 38,68.
I think it is $3,868 too, if we do the seating.
Which I guess I could do the math, because I think it's told how much per time, 6 times or something.
Oh, yes, it's 6.
The things I got circled on there wasn't in the motion. And I still ain't got approval from the AOC on this.
I doubt they'll have a problem.
Well, he's saying about getting some type of refund.
Oh,
Because they pay a certain amount right now.
Sorry about that, Mary.
No, sorry.
They get a bunch of things for free.
The motion says with True Green to seed, fertilize, remove weeds, and Logan County Justice Center, the Historical Courthouse, and Property Valuation Administrator, and Logan County Archive, build it 6 times a year for a total of $26,280.
And yearly.
It just didn't include the seeding.
Just think about how much money that saves. And I agree, it's
and then they just
it's
broke
the
it out
right
to what
thing
is
to
yours.
do because it works and it's easy, but think about how much money it saves.
I don't know. We figured it would be.
Oh, maybe we didn't do the irrigation and seeding.
But y'all can look at order number 7 in the original bill.
2620. And then.
Yeah, we just missed that variation and seeding part.
So it's, like you said,
Just make a
Yeah,
motion to
but
add
that adds, it adds the
$38.68.
aeration and seeding is $3,868 extra dollars
Yeah.
on top of the 26,2080.
I think what we'll, if we stick with what we got, I think we need to redo the motion, taking out the seeding. True Green to seed, fertilize. I mean, they're supposed to fertilize and treat them all for that 2680. or whatever it was, but.
2628.
The aeration and the seed.
And then if we want them to do the aeration and seeding, it's a $3,868 more dollars. So it'd be a total of that right there.
Yeah, total will be $54,8880.
Is that what y'all want to do?
I don't think we need to add that other on.
You voted no to do that.
I know, I agree. But, you're exactly right.
What'd you say the total was, Barry?
$54,8880.
Barry had a grand to that.
Yeah, I did.
I done the 26,2080 plus the aeration and seeding.
Yeah, you missed the.
You missed $1,000.
Excuse me then. I'll do it again.
I thought it was too high.
Don't do that type of work. So, I mean, what do y'all want to do that or leave it off?
Well, we've already committed to doing it. I don't want to halfway do it.
I sure did. I missed a grand somewhere.
Yeah, you put in a 3 or a 2 or,
Something.
you know, flip that.
It is 64,88.
All right. Who made the motion to begin with? It's for 4 buildings.
I'm gonna vote no.
We already know how you vote.
We already knew that.
You against everything today.
Yeah, I know.
Huh?
I don't have to worry about next year.
We're gonna roll you out of here.
Not everybody can get their wives to do their seed and aeration and mowing.
Yeah.
I don't even fertilize my own lawn. And then my wife has to
You
mow
want
it
a
every
motion
day.
to add this, or you want a motion for the new
We
total?
either need to remove the seeding and bid the seeding out at some other time, but the motion said the seed and fertilize, and this is, the bid was aeration and seed price.
So going back to what do you want done? Do you want a motion to add the 3868? Or do you want a motion to retract it and put it all together?
Well, if you want to stay with the original price, you need to take a seed out.
So the motion was made to
Why don't we just
treat,
retract that
aerate,
motion and then
and
redo a
seed.
new motion?
The motion was made to do 3 things, and we're only paying for 2 of them with the 26,2080.
Okay.
So if we want to do the third one, which is seed and aeration,
We just need to retract our original motion because we messed up and didn't put the total cost and then put the total cost in. Right?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Of course, if you added, you add that much more to the budget.
yeah.
Well, I don't think we're gonna have to turn the lights out yet.
Let's see who made that horrible motion. Mr. Rosen, where you see that
Number 7.
where Kyle voted no?
I think it was me. I'm not gonna guess there,
Yeah, number 7, Thomas Bowling, second by Tyler.
but Thomas Bowden.
And was that for the lawn and the?
Yeah, to seed, fertilize, and remove weeds.
How did you miss that?
What about the lawn mowing part of it? Is that in that same motion? It's a different one?
They're separate bids.
Okay.
Yeah, that was number 6.
So y'all made a motion to do it anyhow.
Yeah, we made a motion to do it, just didn't get the total, didn't get the amount right.
Rescind it, or do y'all want to just make a motion to add the new total?
Just add the new total. I mean, that's what I would do, if we want to do that.
It don't matter to me.
I don't want to halfway do it. I'm
Okay,
gonna do it.
then we'll make a,
You all right there?
Of course,
Yeah, I mean, ain't no sense in mowing dust. I mean, we want it to look right. If we're
Okay.
gonna spend that kind of money, we might as well have a pretty yard.
You mow dust
So-
off that, don't you?
Judge, I guess my motion would be to amend motion number 7 from last court meetings, that the total, including seed and fertilize and aeration, $6,488.80.
Second. Damn, how we got that figured out?
yeah.
Get cheaper.
You can sell the goats, don't you?
Logan,
Well,
County Manager.
first thing, I guess we need to retract this motion. The original motion, or his motion was to add the 38.
I would assume you're just amending the previous motion.
Right.
Because
I think the way it's written, if we just amend it, all the language is right, it's just the total's not right.
Yeah.
So just amend it that the total should be 648880. That's all right with y'all.
Because they did intend to do those things, the amount just didn't.
And we didn't add it up right.
Sometimes when we put the wrong totals on the minutes, we don't.
Well, we took a figure somebody wrote down on a piece of paper.
That's what should have been done.
Okay, so your motion is to amend this motion.
Number 7 to read $6,488.80.
Okay.
And that should make everything right.
Yes.
I think normally we do this during the minutes section, we approve the minutes, we usually fix something that we messed up.
Okay, y'all got my paper. I think y'all,
Oh, yeah, I wrote on it too. Sorry. That's,
All right. Roll call.
okay, now state your motion again, Thomas.
The motion is to amend motion number 7 from the previous court meeting, I think that was the
18.
May 10th, that the total should be $6,488.80.
Second.
Okay. Is there any questions? And again, the AOC might just thank us for this, because I talked to them the other time. They made a determination yet. So, okay. Any questions? If there's not any, let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Cowell.
No.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Not everybody voted, huh, Tyler? Y'all two voted yes?
Everybody voted yes except for
Except for
Robert.
Robert Cowell.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought we could do away with the fertilizing on. I ain't fertilized my yard in 10 years.
You don't mow it.
Well, yeah, but my wife still has to mow it every 5 days if it rains. We could save that much.
You might can next year. I mean,
Yeah.
you get a good.
Yeah.
you get it, so you
Okay,
get-
next item of business. Acknowledge receipt of Logan County Health Tax and District budget for 22-23. And y'all got a copy of the budget in front of you that was just approved last Thursday before our special call meeting. Of course, we'll report on tax rates and things soon, but the tax rate stayed the same at 2.5. And is there any other questions about the budget?
Move to acknowledge the Logan County Health Taxing District budget totaling $1,023,524.
Second.
Okay, is there any questions? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Cowell.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is discuss extending the banking service for a 1-year period and a knowledge of interest rates. And Amanda?
So our current contracts with the banking services allows us to do an extension on those agreements for up to 2 subsequent 1-year periods. We did reach out with Truist and First Southern, which are the two banks that we currently do business with. First Southern agreed to keep all of our banking services the same with no changes, but the interest rate would be 0.35% on that one. We're currently at 0.10, or 0.10, yes. Yes, that's And then Truist, the same thing. They are still offering the variable interest rate of 0.12.
Is that a recommendation?
Yes.
So moved to extend the banking services as they currently are held at First Southern National Bank and Truist Financial
Second.
For the special reserve.
for the special reserve, yeah.
Okay, we have a second.
Second. Oh, you didn't say it, somebody said it.
Yeah, Jason.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Okay,
I
question.
heard it then.
Any
We finally
questions?
gonna get a yes vote out of you?
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Barry, you remember that those funds have to be collateralized 100%.
I know you took about a 5-minute break, but it's okay, go with.
A lot of people either A, don't bid it, or B, it's at a discounted rate.
They're paying insurance on that money, I'm sure they're paying extra insurance is what's costing.
Next item of business, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Oh, I thought you was talking, already.
This next item of business, discussions on the budget. I don't know if we have one since we had a budget hearing last Thursday, so if there's not any discussions, we'll move on then to the designation of
Do we need to have a second reading of the
do what?
Do we need to have a second reading of the budget?
We'll have it in June.
Oh, in June?
Well, first thing, what we'll do at the next meeting, we'll add in everything that was said at the budget meeting. Okay? Amend the budget, and then we'll have a budget hearing, the 28th probably.
We have to do those legal advertisings as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Okay, designation of applicant agent, resolution for FEMA DR 4630. And we normally appoint Rodney Hockero, the Logan County Emergency Management Director. And I need a motion on this to approve this resolution appointing Rodney Hockero, Logan County Emergency Director, as the applicant agent.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion for that. Any questions? Okay, down here and then, let's have roll call.
Davenport. Yes. Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Next item of business, y'all, I don't think you got this in your package if you want to see it, because it didn't come in late yesterday afternoon. It's a contract with the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and FEMA DR 4630, which was during the declaration declared when the tornado went through on December the 11th. This total contract is for $400 million, it looks like. But of course, we're not going to get that part much of it, but we've got to go through this contract. Y'all want to see it?
I don't have to.
To get our share of it. And I think we've about got everything turned in. But and we was one of the fortunate counties that we didn't have the damage that they had in other counties, just cities wiped completely out. So I need approval of this contract and allow me to sign it.
Motion to approve. To allow the judge to sign.
Second. Okay,
Second.
got a motion and a second. Question? Okay, if no question, let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, and y'all got a copy of the administrative code. Y'all look that over. The administrative code, y'all's in June. I know we made some changes to it the last 2 or 3 years. And finally, Amanda had a second or two, and she retyped it for us. And so y'all be sure to look through that for future meetings. If you see anything that you know that you want to change, it needs to be brought up in June. Okay, and I got one other item of business, but we're going to need to go into closed session. And we can,
Can we talk about anything in policy issue?
Only what we
Only.
report.
I guess, Joe, this would,
Talk about real
go under
estate.
KRS 61810 1G, discussion between a public agency and a representative of a business entity, discussion concerning a specific proposal.
Judge, add also the personnel. We have a request here to talk about personnel things as well. So just
Okay.
add both of those so we can talk about it.
Okay. KRS 61-810, 1F, discussions and hearings which might lead to appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee, member, or student.
Do you add that to your motion?
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second? Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Jim, you can stay for this one thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we're back in open session. I think we got a motion to be made.
Yeah, Judge, I'd like to make a motion to allow you to sign a letter of support for a potential expansion here in Logan County, referred to as Project Spring. I'd like to put that in motion, that it be letter sent, and that we were supportive of that, and for the KBI and the KEIA incentives.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Hey, Judge Chick, just an update. Phil Greger did text me about the smoke thing, and PSK had not been paid for fixing that other unit. That they're in communication with the company that did do that work about making it right one way or the other. He didn't say whether they were going to reimburse it and pay the bill, or if they were going to come fix it, but he's aware of that, and he's in communication with the company that did install those two units. Even the one unit that's a residential unit, that if they couldn't fix it and make it right, that they put in the correct unit. So,
Okay.
Phil he said he had an appointment, and he was not able to come today, but anyhow, and he also is telling me now that he will have a response to Mary's presentation today. So I'll let him speak on the rest of that.
Okay, is there any other post-agenda that's come up today?
I got a question. Got one question. Can we get some quotes on sealing the parking lot here and striping?
We can, but I think it'd be best to wait after the construction's done on the outside of the building.
Yeah,
Tyler.
that's a good point.
And,
That's a lot of
because there's gonna be a lot of weight on that parking lot.
Okay. So
There's no question about the parking lot needs probably, it might need blacktopping, to tell you the truth, but,
I just thinking this, as long as people know how to park. I mean, it's like guessing right now. You just do what you know.
but.
Okay, well, we'll just wait till after all that's done. I just want to bring that up. That's all I have.
Can we, before we resign though, can we just maybe, because I want y'all to be thinking about it, I don't like making big decisions on one court meeting. While Jim's here, Beans is here, could he take 2 minutes and explain maybe what the IDA is looking at doing here in the foreseeable future? I'm going to give y'all some time to think about it.
All right, thank you. Well, 2 minutes, real quick. A lot of activity happening with economic development right now. You probably heard about some of the big announcements around the state and around the region, and that's a trickle-down effect for Logan County. Over the last year, I've been with the lead for almost a year now. We have probably had a dozen or more inquiries for a 100,000 square foot building at the Shelton Lane site. And with that said, we're desperate for building inventory, as is everybody else around the state. As I mentioned, a lot of activity. So in a couple of weeks, we're gonna come to the court and present to the court some findings that we have, and possibly ask the court if they could be supportive in helping us get a spec building for the Shelton Lane site. So something to think about. If you have any questions between now and then, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. This is important for economic development. We've had some opportunities with developers coming in wanting to possibly construct a building, but if we allow that to happen, then we have no control. And we feel like we need to keep control, the board does, of what comes into that building to make sure it's not just warehousing, but it's something that's creating job and creating economic activity that will, ultimately broaden the tax base here in Logan County and increase opportunities. So just wanted to give you a quick update on what's happening with the with LEAD and IDA, and would be happy to answer any questions you have now or later. Just feel free to reach out.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And just in case you don't,
Want to attend our meeting, they can do.
Yeah.
sir,
It's in the
We have a
morning,
meeting.
7 o'clock, first Wednesday. So
I said we have a meeting the second Tuesday, or Wednesday, second Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And IDA is usually not about 7:30 or
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
so,
There you go, you can make the idea.
pass one down. I don't know if you get, here, hand one to Tyler if you don't mind. So, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You've got my number, right?
If we build a, like you said, a spec building, is that limit to what can come there, or no?
No, what we would propose is doing a shell. That way, whatever.
Size this much square footage?
Yeah, 100,000 square foot shell, and then whatever potential client, it can be fit up to meet their needs, and it can be done quickly, more quickly than building a new building. And right now, the key in economic development for everything is speed to market. That's everything's got to be done yesterday. So, thank you.
So you won't pour the floor or anything, it'll just be the shell?
Just be the shell. No floor, pipe, no bathrooms. They'll have a shell office space. That way, the potential client can design it, to fit their needs. They may need an 8-inch slab instead of a 6-inch slab, depending on what they're doing in there.
I forgot how thick some of that concrete was under some of the machines. I mean, it was.
Would different people be able to use it? Is that what you're saying?
No, it'd be one tenant, but we would leave it as a shell for whoever the potential client would be, that we could fit it up to meet their needs.
It would be inventory for us to market.
Right.
That's what Jim and the IDA is going to
Okay.
request.
I got you.
We have the Shelton Lane project, and if you recall, we have a build-ready pad. The pad is there. What we run into is people come look at it, and then they also go to other places, and this place has already got the shell.
I'll give you an example. We had a site visit. Now, we have an 80,000 square foot pad. We'll extend it to 100. But we had a site visit out here with a German company, and we thought we were one of 3 locations. While we were on the site, they decided to go look at an existing building in Franklin that was already there. And so we're probably out of the mix. And that's been the story the whole time. And so inventory is key, and if we can get some inventory, we move ourselves up closer to the top. We actually have a site visit at the West Industrial Park on Thursday with a potential, a nice project. And, if things go well, we'll be coming back to the court for the incentive package.
Sweet. Cool, man. Appreciate you hammering down, man. Seems like you.
We're hammering, yeah.
Do other cities that, if they have a building in sight, do they give the building in the site, or do they sell?
They either sell or lease the building.
Lease or sell?
Yeah, now, they may include the land as an incentive, but the actual building, because however it's funded, those costs need to be recouped. You can't just turn over $4 million.
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, we just picked Louisville. It's a big, I didn't know Louisville had a lot of money if they furnish the building or.
Well, the adjacent, our friends to the east of here, they had some spec buildings. They've sold them. Same in Simpson County. Yeah.
What you sell along the part of your inventory that.
That's how they recoup
But it
the
frees,
money.
the goal here would be,
Free, absolutely.
we join at the hip, do a building, whether it's $4 or $5 million. We get it built, we take the loan out, within 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it takes, that building is sold, the money is brought back to the county to make the county whole, and then hopefully there's some money left over that the IDA can hold on to do it again, okay? And just, repeat that. I don't even know.
Yeah, we wouldn't need all $4 million. We just need the bond and the commitment from the court to make the bond payments until the building's sold or leased.
Hopkinsville did this very successfully with county government for years. If you go out to their industrial park, they built this building, put it on the market, leased it and or sold it, did the next one, did the next one, did the next one, did the next one. I can go on and on and on. I mean, last,
in Pembroke, they went from the bypass
Yeah.
to Pembroke.
I mean, I'm talking about one right after the other. They took us on a tour. Judge Jick and I went, and that was a partnership with their economic development and county government, and they literally did anywhere from 40 to 100,000 square feet and advertised it, and did the next one. And they, like I said, they just kept rolling down the street. It was amazing.
And the good thing about Logan County is, you know, we talk about this at length in our meetings, is that we have 6,000 people a day that leave Logan County to go work somewhere else.
How many?
6,000. And, you know, if there were a few more opportunities, we think we can keep more of those people here. You go to Warren County where they've had all this activity going on, they're just churning folks from one industry to the other. As soon as one announces, they're paying a few bucks more an hour, everybody's leaving the last one and going to the next one, and it's a vicious cycle. They have about close to 50% turnover rate in their industries here. We're between 5 and 10. So, you know, in Logan County, people, when they get a job, they stick with it. Yeah.
We also got several people coming into the county to work too.
Yeah.
Almost as many, I think, coming in as well.
Yeah, I know the school system, 50% of the staff.
We talk about a building, then it's over 2 acres.
We don't wanna leave it for the reporter. We got 6,000 people leaving. We got a few people coming in.
Yeah, we have about 3,000 coming in today.
Is it 3?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. I was thinking it was close to about the same, but okay.
And just keep in mind, Christian County's losing population and Logan's gaining. So, thank you all.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me.
You have a good week.
You too.
I make a motion, we're through, I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Who seconded it? Barry?
Barry did.
Okay, let's have roll call on that.
No.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Y'all have a great week, fellas.
Good, man.